for your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross Traver Township is Sprowls Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to sprowlsinsurance.com.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all
The
states.
views and opinions presented by the host, guests, or callers on this program do not necessarily represent the positions of WMBS Radio.
Well, we got the A-team back, TJ. Thank you. Last week it was Brian, but, Brian's the general manager. He had to come down. It was difficult without you. You know that.
Really?
Was no doubt in my mind, right?
Okay.
But again,
then you're the only one that missed me. I'm glad.
Oh, we missed you. We missed you, right, Doc? Doc missed you. Rich missed you.
They brought you back up from spring training, that's all.
That's right.
Just like the Pirates. Again, the Democratic Hour on WMBS 590 AM, 101.1 FM. Our telephone number 724-438-4593. TJ, we got a little music to start the show. We always like to kick it off with the one and only.
Do we?
Oh, he's going to be in Pittsburgh.
I don't
watching
know.
Him. Uh-oh.
I wasn't here last week. I think I forgot what to do. Is this here? Tell me if this is right.
Okay, we're going to see. Oh, he's back. I know TJ couldn't mess it up. Yeah, he gets a kick out of that. Oh, there he is, Doc. I told you.
Are you going to the game with him tomorrow?
Yeah, I told him I'd like my seats up high. I don't want to be in, watching in one of them boxes is like staying at home. It's bad when you got to turn Justin down for the Steelers football.
That is
game.
bad.
Oh, it's bad. Thank you, TJ.
You're welcome.
And I want to thank Brian for last week. We didn't call him Nick, we didn't call him TJ, and we didn't call him Bill. So we did good. And again, welcome to the show, the Democratic Hour on WMBS. Doc Riley's in there. Doc, thanks. Rich.
Glad to be here.
We have a caller, and I'm hoping he calls in. I told him about 3:15. So if he gets the call, we'll take it. If not, guys, there's so many things to bring up, especially on Friday. And, of course, we know where the President of the United States is going, to Alaska. And when I guess during the news conference, he said he was going to Russia. I guess he forgot Alaska belongs to the United States. The art of the deal, right? Rich, what you call him, Monty Hall, let's make a deal?
Let's make a deal. Monty Hall, let's make a deal. Speaking before our caller calls in, of course, guys, I said it last week and I'll say it again. Election will be here November 4th, 81 days in a wake-up, as we say in the service. And, of course, we have our candidates going to be running. County-wise is Matt Lancaster for treasurer, Jim Santelli for recorder of deeds, and of course Trinette will be on the ballot. She's already elected, but she's going to be on the ballot. She was already elected in a primary. A couple other things, and I was looking, Doc. It seems like yesterday. The first thing with the Supreme Court, and I wrote this down this morning. The Voting Rights Act, and we know where this is all going with this current administration. It was passed in 1965 by LBJ. So the Supreme Court in October, the first thing on their docket is oral arguments in the Louisiana case. So heavens knows what was passed in 1965 with the Voting Rights Act. And we know recently how the Supreme Court, you don't know what kind of results because just might as well throw everything out under this current administration, especially with this court.
Well, we do know what they've done so far, and they keep chipping away or increasingly add on hurdles or barbed wire to go through and paperwork, etc., to retard the efforts of the citizens to add and vote. Is that not true?
It's true.
We see whose side they're on. That's a 6-3
And we're going to see, and that's so important. And speaking of local elections, again on the ballot in November, you're going to have retention for the Supreme Court. It's a plain yes or no. It won't be a D or an R by their name, but the candidates we have are Justice Christine Donahue on the Supreme Court, Kevin Dougherty on the Supreme Court, David Weck on the Supreme Court. And for Superior Court, we have Alice Beck-DeBow for retention. And for Commonwealth Court, we have Michael H. Wojak for Commonwealth Court. also, during the election, we'll have a candidate for Superior Court and Commonwealth Court. And, of course, we have our local races, Recorder of Deeds, Treasurer, and, of course, like I said, a Jury Commissioner. And we have one district judge here. It'll be down in the Periopolis. And we got to realize you're going to have school board races. So we have eight school districts here in the county. We have 16 boroughs, which will be electing mayors and other city councils to the boroughs. We have the city of Uniontown and Connellsville have elections. In the township, we have 24 townships supervisors. So we have a big agenda, and we get closer to election, we'll have some of these candidates on. And I know Rich has some things. We got some hot news, but before we get into that, I wrote down one thing about Trump this week. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. Might have been Wednesday or Thursday. I listened to one of his press conference talk, and I can honestly say this. I got involved in politics when the first opportunity I had when I come back from Vietnam, like myself and many other veterans, you had to be 21 to vote. And I couldn't wait till I had an opportunity to vote. And I've said this so many times. My mother walked me down to the voting precinct in Edenborn. But I'm looking down. I'm going to read these off. So for me, somebody in high school, of course, obviously JFK, Lyndon Baines Johnson. We had Richard Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, and Joe Biden. The reason I say this, I heard him make some comments. Nobody, and I say nobody, the former presidents I just says the things this man says and gets away with. He doesn't care what he says. I don't care where it's at. He belittles people. You think about this. No other president in the United States, they may have said some things behind the scenes, but for him to just come out, he spoke the other day, and we know what he's doing in Washington, D.C. It's ironic. He doesn't have a problem calling up the National Guard, right? But where was he on January 6th? He blamed that debacle on Nancy Pelosi, right?
Correct.
He wasn't going to call the Guard out on his own people who he told to march up to the Capitol, right? But getting back, he mentioned about something about how bad the parks and the grass is brown, and he says, I know a lot about grass because I own a bunch of golf courses. Maybe he should smoke a little grass, maybe be a nicer guy. But what did he do in the Rose Garden, Rich?
Pulled the grass out and poured concrete.
So that's what he thought about the grass there recently. But again, that's some of the things, and really the behavior. I'm growing up the highway, and I'm thinking, I continue how somebody could continue not to call this man out on their own party is beyond me. Whatever comes out of his mouth shouldn't shock anybody anymore. TJ, we have the caller. We're going to see who this is.
This is your guest.
Yeah, we're going to see if it's the guest.
Okay, go ahead.
Teddy, is that you?
Hi, yes it is. How are you?
Good. Wait, Teddy, I hope I don't mispronounce it. Tolliver? Tolliver?
Yep, that's correct.
Teddy called me, guys. He's a young student, and I say young compared to my age, down at W&J. And he's involved with the Young Democrats. So, Teddy, tell us about how you got involved. And you're going to school at W&J, and I asked you to come on because, you being 20 years old, we'd like to know what the students are thinking about what's happening in this country, the atmosphere. So, Teddy, go right ahead. Tell us where you're from and how you chose W&J and what you're doing now as far as the political end.
Yeah, so I'm from Moon Township, Pennsylvania, in Allegheny County, but as you mentioned, I go to school down in Washington. And I'm, a proud W&J student. I've helped restart the college Democrats at W&J. And I believe it was last April I was elected to be the finance director for the PA College Democrats. And so we just got rechartered with the College Democrats of America, and we have over 55 chapters, which throughout the entire country, that's the largest chapter base of any state, including states like California, Texas, and New York, which are much, much bigger than PA. So we're very proud to have the most amount of chapters in our state, and we're going to keep fighting to help make more, because at the end of the day, having chapters helps the counties out a lot, which is why I called you. We want to try and have chapters all throughout the Commonwealth, in every county, because they can help with canvassing and phone banking and door knocking and everything like that. So that's kind of our goal for this year. Our website is pacollegedems.org. I recommend you check it out. Being the finance director, I have to say this. I would love for some donations if possible.
Beggars can't be choosy, right, Teddy? As they say.
That is correct. That is correct. And then my email is on the website, but it is pacd.fundraising@gmail.com. So please, any of your viewers or listeners, please reach out to me. I would love to try and chat with.
Well, Teddy, how many students are involved in W&J as far as the Democratic Party do you have now?
Yeah, so we just got restarted right before the election last year. And in our group me, we have around 50 people. And we're looking to increase that, but then also increase the activities and events that we do to try and help out the Washington County Dems. A little shout out to Christina. She's the chair of the Washington County Dems. She's amazing.
Yes, she is.
She really has helped us a lot. And so we're hoping to continue that connection, but also build connections like that with other schools and in other counties and things like that.
Well, unfortunately, Teddy, you probably heard the bad news. We have a campus out here at Penn State. They decided, the board of directors at the main campus decided that this campus will run, I think, to 2027. It'll be closing. But, Teddy, anything I could do as chairman of the party, I'd be more than glad. I would like to come down one day and talk to the young students at W&J. But, Teddy, how did you get involved? Did your mom or dad, or how did you just decided one day you wanted to get involved in politics at age 20?
Yeah, so I've been involved in politics since 2021 was my first campaign I volunteered on. My family has no interest in politics, really. It's not their thing, but I did some canvassing and phone banking for Kathleen Madonna Emmerling, who at the time was running for township supervisor. Now she's running for Allegheny County Council, and she actually inspired me to run for township auditor in Moon. She's an amazing person. I recommend all of your viewers look her up, give her a look. She's an amazing person. She's currently my campaign treasurer. So I'm very happy that I have her helping me out. But yeah, she started it, and then she really pushed me to run, and I was like, you know what, you're right. I think we need young people elected to office. I think my generation especially needs to feel like they're represented in government and politics. And I know for me personally, I don't feel like I'm getting that, so I figured if no one else wanted to, then I'll step up and run to represent. So yeah.
Well, Teddy, I know the fall semester is ready to start. Is there a counterpart? The Republicans? Do you debate the Republicans? I assume they have a group there in W&J.
Yeah, they do. So they started not long after we did. We started first, proudly. But yeah. So we have at least one debate every semester. We started it last semester. We had two, and we definitely beat them both times. We're hoping to have another one sometime this semester. Once everyone gets back and gets settled in, we're going to figure all that out. But we would love to have as many people there as possible, even non-students.
Well, make sure you invite me, and I'll come down. We'll bring Doc and Rich and a few of us here just to hear the young students in WJ. Rich, you have any questions for Teddy? Or
No, I've been looking over this other matter here.
Doc, being a young man, 20 years old, wants to get involved.
It's fantastic that he's taking the interest in stepping up to serve. Could he possibly get that debate in before the election day in November?
That would be great. What do you think about that, Teddy?
Yeah, I think because our semester usually starts to wrap up mid-November with Thanksgiving break and everything. So I think we were definitely planning before the election.
Yeah, because the election is November 4th.
Yeah. It's amazing because usually I just kind of let the other side talk themselves into a hole, especially right now, with the economy and immigration and all that fun stuff. I just let them do all the talking and I'll take the victory.
Well, Teddy, our hats off to you because, like I said, 20 years old, you're the future of our country, and I thank the good Lord that you're involved and want to get involved because it's so important. I can't imagine, of course, we all know sending any young person to college is a costly, and I know W&J is cheap by no stretch of the imagination, and some people can afford to go there, others looking for financial help, and that's what the Democratic Party has been about. And we know that the former administration was trying to do some things for giving some of the students loans. And of course, we know what happened under the current administration. So, Teddy, one more time, what is the contact number if any young student here listens to the show or somebody's listened to it? Go to your Facebook page. So please, if you'd be so kind to repeat it again.
Yeah, so our website is pacollegedems.org. And then we don't have a Facebook, but we do have an Instagram. It is just PA_collegedems. No caps, no spaces. But yeah, check us out. We've done a bunch of stuff over the summer. We've made a few posts about the judicial retentions. A lot of us were lucky enough to go to the Young Democrats of America conference that was conveniently in Philly. So yeah, we're trying to get active. So I encourage all of your listeners to give us a follow. Please send me an email. I'd love to chat with some people over in Fayette.
And I'll definitely, next time I'm down, I'll make sure that when I'm in Washington County Democratic headquarters, I'll give you a call and we'll talk. Teddy, I want to thank you for coming on to WMBS and Democratic Hour, and we'll stay in touch. The best to you, my brother.
Thank you. You as well.
And that's Teddy Tolliver, a young student going to school at W&J. And I'm glad that somebody that age wants to get involved in politics. We need more, and they're the future of our country. But we got to get back to local politics, and we just picked up something. Rich, we have, like I said, a local election coming in 81 days. And some of the things I brought up, we have our recorder of deeds who comes on after this show, and he said, God bless the President of the United States. John, what's going on in this country, what he's doing to Washington, D.C., you name it, he's done it. Forget about the law. He's the law for now. And he's going to Alaska, making a deal, right? Where's Zelensky in this? It's going to be a dog and pony show up there, and he claims he can look at Putin. He'll know if he has a deal. What kind of deal?
In the first 5 seconds, or some ridiculous thing.
Yeah, and that's what he makes. Rich, we just got something here. Came out this afternoon, and we got information. So, Rich, I know these documents, we just got them, so we can maybe highlight it, and we'll have some more information going forward.
Yeah, again, these just were released today, August 15th, in court here in Uniontown. They relate to the cases of John Marietta in his effort to win county commissioner when he ran several years ago, and the various appeals. And there are 3 different cases here. One involving John and the appeal for John Marietta, Gino Gallo, and Greg Sedstrom. The others are John, a number of other people. And finally, there are 2 of those. And then there's a separate case for contract debt collection filed by the law firm against John Marietta. And, I don't know what the attorney charges, but roughly if you say like $300 an hour for attorney fees, there are 24 of these, so that's at least $7,600 plus court filings that have to go in that and whatnot. But essentially, the cases that were dismissed today, all 3 of them relate to the idea that the plaintiffs, having failed to file their appellate briefs in compliance with this court's order dated February 10th, 2025, the above captioned matter is hereby dismissed.
So that came down in these documents, or this came from the Pathonetary's office.
Yeah, and I'm
legal document.
Yeah, legal document. I'm not an attorney, so I have done reporting. I reported on numerous lawsuits in the past. Just give me some time. I'll come back next week.
And all three of these were dismissed.
All three of these were
John, you're running for a recorder of deeds, and maybe you could give your spin on.
Yeah, I mean,
all three of these were dismissed.
Yeah, and it's just because they never filed the appeals on time.
Schedule.
Yeah.
Simple time schedule that they had to keep things marching along, and they didn't do it.
There were some appeals, some time extensions requested, and they were granted. And then, however, they blew past even the extra time that's given to file the appeals.
And again, folks, like Rich said, we'll have some more news on this next week after Rich go over the documents.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
No, you shouldn't, because we just received it before we went on the air. And again, that's John Marietta's cases involved here in our local Commonwealth Court here in Fayette County. And like I said, the election is 81 days out. And before we know it, and our candidates, like I said, besides Matt Lancaster and Jim Santelli, they're going to be out and about. And we got to wake up in 81 days. We'll have our candidates wherever they can be. And, of course, a lot of people now, of course, with the mail-in ballots, you could vote. And I don't have the date in front of me, probably early October, you get your mail-in ballots. So it's actually probably 71 days when people get their ballot and send it in. So, again, folks, please, if you want to register to vote, call the Bureau of Elections at 724-430-1289. Go right ahead, Rich.
One other interesting note on the filing here. It says the prothonotary is directed to submit this matter for disposition on the briefs filed without oral argument unless otherwise directed. The appeals docket and it gives the appeals, whatever, the numbers for them, shall be listed for deposition right away.
And again, that's pertaining to John Marietta, is running for recorder of deeds here in Fayette County.
And I don't know if he's going to be able to appeal this case or not, but to me, on a cursory review of it so far, it doesn't look like it's, would have much of a chance of winning on an appeal.
And again, that's local, and of course, guys on a national. Doc, you've been around a long time, and Rich, likewise. When I mentioned the former president of the United States, I just can't imagine growing up and hearing what's coming out of the mouth of the current president of the United States, and it affects everybody here. And then some of the shenanigans. We're just going to take over the District of Columbia because I know better, right? And we'll tell the police chief, you're no longer the police chief. We'll put somebody in there who, right?
Yeah, and he's on his revenge tour.
Oh, and he is.
I mean, there's a portrait of every president that goes into the White House. This past week, I read a story that the last president that they have in the foyer there is the last one who has portrait painted,
right? And
that was Barack Obama. That was removed. Moved over to the old executive office building on the top floor in a top hallway. And then, he revenge on Letitia James, the attorney general in New York, filed lawsuit against her. And now he wants to, the one big brokerage house, I think it was Goldman, he's trying to get the chief economist fired. He's telling them to fire him. Now imagine if Obama had told Trump organization, hey, get rid of this guy. We don't like him.
Then he was hiring somebody who was recently seen at January 6th insurrection, and he's going to be involved in adjustment. So there's no shame. And my whole point, we're going to have John, who's running for the recorder of deeds, and he's a MAGA Republican. And he continues to support this president. Throw all the rights out. Forget about the voting rights. I'll tell you. And then what he's doing and I say this, and Rich said it, and Doc said it, when the Voting Rights Act in 1965. But this gerrymandering, it's been done on both sides. Which arbitrarily just say, I need 5 more. Okay, and Texas said, I'll bow to the king, and we'll do it. And and I've heard the Democratic side, and if we lay down and just say, okay. Well, guess what? They changed the game in the middle of the game, right? It's every 10 years on census. You could lose a congressperson or gain one. They just want to say, okay, we'll do it.
And pushing California and other states to think about doing the same
For Democrats.
stupid thing, because then they'll have all the states, and then it'll be annual reassessments and new maps per year.
And how much is that going to cost?
But the experts that are commenting on the talk shows and all are saying that California has the only positive against that movement is to do the same thing, and no one's saying it's a wonderful idea because it's bad in both settings.
Yeah, but the other thing too this week, there was a 90-day deadline for China to reach a deal on the tariffs, and didn't come through. But gave an extension. Trump always chickens out. Okay, gave the extension. If you take a look at why the extension, 90 days, where's that take you? Right before Christmas, and all the toys that are coming in from China, and clothing, and other items like that that are gifts for Christmas. So he's given those folks a ride on. Go ahead, go buy all the products before Christmas. Won't have have a little bit more money. Won't show up as inflation.
And again, we know that they took their recess, and here we have our congressman. Nobody could find him. Won't have a town hall meeting. Right?
Right.
He's going to get elected again, or was elected. So again, I've said this so many times. I never thought I changed my mind. There should be term limits.
Yeah.
I really do.
And age limits.
And age limits. I mean, just like we have a Congress. When is the last time he's ever been in Fayette County? I know he was there a few years ago. You would think with everything going on, this great, big, beautiful bill that he voted for, right? And speaking big, beautiful bills, our local legislators voted against a bill proposed here in Harrisburg again. So we got Charity, no vote. Bud Cook, a no vote. Ryan Warner, a no vote. So there's some things sent up to the Senate. So, but again, if something comes back in this county, they'll do the photo op. TJ, we have a caller on the line?
We do.
Let's see what we got, guys.
Good afternoon. You're on the air. Who we speaking to?
Yes, this is Jay. How you all doing?
Good, Jay.
Good show as always. Some statistics have come out this week dealing with the economy, and it's starting to point more and more under the Trump administration that we could be looking at a recession down the line unless some of these numbers change. And not only was it not liberal, it's Fox Business and CNBC are both stating that these numbers aren't good for the Trump administration. I'll give Maria Bartiromo credit. She took Peter Navarro to task, who needs to be taken to task on some of this stuff. And the producer price index under Donald Trump, we're up to 3.3% now. A lot of people say, what does that matter? It measures the average change over time in the selling prices received by domestic producers for their output.
Yeah, if the producers have to pay more for their inputs, it's going to cost more to make their product. And so
and in 1 month, Rich, from June to July. Now, you can't blame Biden. You can't blame anybody else. He's been in here 8 months or whatever now. It was the biggest 1 month jump in 3 years. It went up 1%, and that's a lot. And for instance, we have a 39% increase in fresh and dry vegetables. And economists, whether they're on the right or the left, are both saying it's due to tariffs and the increase that it's costing because we're rounding up all these immigrants that help work in the fields. And 39%, that is huge. It's also the largest. The increase from June to July was the largest increase ever recorded in a summer month.
Yeah.
Now, natural gas prices under Trump are up 25%. Electric prices are up 19%. Now we're hearing, I called last week about Toyota, but now we're talking about auto prices that are imported are going to go up. They're projecting $6,000 this year, and if you buy one domestic that was assembled in the U.S., due to tariffs on parts and things like that, they're expected to go up $3,000.
Yeah, John Deere yesterday came out and said they're going to take a $600 million hit to earnings because of the inflation or the tariff impact.
Yeah, and what's going to happen? I don't understand these MAGA people. They do not understand workers from the working class, the middle class, are going to start to get laid off. Prices will go up. If you don't get a pay increase and everything is going up like this due to a lot to his ignorant tariff policies, and I'm really surprised Scott Bessent can sit there with a straight face under this administration and say that and make ridiculous comments that foreign companies are going to eat these tariffs. It's beyond the pale for him to say that when if we don't cut this out, we're going to be looking at a recession down the line. And it's going to hurt Americans. We did this earlier. I lived with it with George W. Bush when we went through the recession in 2007, and then we bailed out the corporate banks.
I remember that.
All of that nonsense because we cut taxes in blue money, and that was a Republican Congress that he had from 2001 to 2007, both House and Senate, and a Republican president. We lived through that. I took hits like you wouldn't imagine. And we're going to go through this stuff again. I don't even understand why some of these networks put Peter Navarro on there. I hate to say it. I generally don't talk like this, but it's like a propaganda minister.
Oh, it is a propaganda. There's no doubt about it, Jay.
With the Goldman Sachs economist that President Trump would like to get rid of, he was the one who predicted in 2007 that there's going to be a big problem with default on mortgages. And look what happened. And so he was right on that, and now he's predicting that there's going to be a big increase in prices because of tariffs.
I saw that, Rich. I saw that. I specifically read that off of Bloomberg not too long ago, but I think it was this morning I read it. And I mean, I just don't get where these people, and this stuff in D.C., rolling out these military SUVs down by Union Plaza and all of it is so unnecessary. And what kind of country are we? They're showing these pictures of bulldozers going over homeless encampments. Help the people. No, this is not a show of force against the poor. If you're living out in a tent, I agree. Maybe it doesn't look good, and I agree they might be up to some stuff that's not good around city areas. I get that. But we don't need to see countless pictures of bulldozers going into tent encampments. We're America.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Jay.
We have some compassion, and I feel bad for the troops that are being
absolutely. They're put in a difficult situation.
And
Go ahead, Doc.
Those people, you can see that clearly, those people that are being moved out, they're putting their possessions down into one shopping bag.
Right.
All the rest is being bulldozed and dumpstered in every other thing they own for day-to-day survival. Those aren't their vacation clothes that is going there, or their lawnmower or something like that, or their boat.
And by contrast, you know how many billionaires are on Trump's cabinet?
I would say the majority of them.
A dozen, good dozen.
13 billionaires on his cabinet.
I guess 12 is pretty close.
Yep.
Hey, Jay, would you do me a favor?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my number. It's out there publicly. So, like I said, call me after the show. I need to talk to you about something. Okay?
Okay. I have got to. My daughter's getting married here in 2 months, so I promised her I would go down and do some things. But I'll be glad at some point.
Yeah. Here, I'll give you the number. 412.
Okay.
412.
I'm sorry. Okay.
554-1917.
Say the last four again.
1917.
And what were the first three? I'm sorry.
412.
I got it.
All right, Jay. Thank you. Appreciate the call as usual.
Yeah, sorry I can't call you right now.
No, that's all right. No problem. Whenever you get time, I appreciate the call.
All right, I thank you.
All right, and that's Jay, one of our listeners, also not to our show, the other shows. TJ, we got a caller on the line?
We do. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Who we speaking to?
Hey guys, it's Matt Lancaster calling.
Hey, Matt, what's up, brother?
Not much. Just looking at two beautiful bald people. That's all.
Oh, wait.
Well, there's three here.
Three. Doc's here.
There's Doc there too. You can't see me.
Doc has more hair than the rest of us here. But what's up, Matt?
Hey, I wanted to add on to Jay's talking points. John Deere also listed that 819 people be laid off from their Illinois plant due to lack of demand. I'm sure it's obviously due from the tariffs that people aren't buying that product. But we're seeing that backlash already of what's going to happen.
Yeah, and a lot of their equipment is for agriculture, and
of course, obviously, we know what they did with the farmers sending their product overseas. They cut that program out, feed the less fortunate in other countries. So, again, Matt, excellent point. Matt, and I mentioned earlier. Go right ahead, Matt.
Okay. No, you go first.
No, I was saying, I mentioned, you are a candidate for the treasurer, and before we go any further, I know you can be reached. Where can everybody reach you that wants to get involved in this campaign for Matt Lancaster for our next treasurer of Fayette County?
Yeah, of course, Lancaster4treasurer@gmail.com. That's the number 4 in between there. And then, of course, Matthew Lancaster for County Treasurer on Facebook. And then you can even just look at Matt Lancaster if you want to and go to my personal page and add me there. I will be at the Democratic Picnic tomorrow. I'm maybe going to be down at the event happening
after this show.
The community. Yeah, well, there's an event at the community in oh, geez, why is my brain not working? What's the park right downtown? Why is my brain not working?
Story?
Where they have
Story Park?
No, not Story.
Marshall?
No.
Oh, the other park right there by the library.
Bailey Park?
Yeah, no. Bailey Park, yes. There's going to be something there on Sunday where they're going to be doing kids' activities, and they're going to have the firemen and policemen there talk about community safety and other, they're going to have book bags for kids who need it and so forth. And I'll be maybe down there helping out building Home Depot little, basically, kits with kids there. That's maybe something I'll be doing on Sunday if I have the time. So I have to see what's going on with my family first.
Matt, I don't know if you caught the beginning of the show. We just got some legal documents here just before the show about the lawsuits from our current
recorder of deeds. When he was running for commissioner, and he was appealing the decisions by Fayette County, and all the appeals are now dismissed because he failed to meet the deadline.
So we just got that, and again, with yourself and Jim and the rest of our candidates, like we said, and I mentioned them earlier on, from, people don't realize eight school districts. You got City, Uniontown, and Connellsville, and boroughs and townships. So we're going to have a busy 81 days. But Matt, I know I'm going to see you Saturday, so we'll have an opportunity. We're looking for a large turnout tomorrow, so it's supposed to be. Go right ahead, Doc, if you want to ask that.
I missed a meeting, Matt, when he was a guest on a radio program here, but I encountered him just accidentally. He was down to the Italian Festival and Food Fair on last Saturday, and we're parked about 6 blocks away, and the sidewalks are starting to melt. And so he offered. He had his little go-kart type thing, and he took 3 of us down to our car, and I got to meet him. And I'm impressed that we've got a top-quality candidate, lots of energy, plenty of youth. Got reserves of energy and sharp, and I think we're lucky to have him stepping up to run.
And Matt's been with of course, with Fayette County Democratic Women with the leadership of Tracy Wilson. We've been down there. When I say we, I've been down there for a few, but others been there every demonstration. People finally realized when you called the other show and you explained why you were there, why your wife was there, while other people was there. And what we indicated today, what's going on in this country, what they did in Washington, D.C., and other things. And I brought up the Voting Rights Act, and that's why we're down there.
In the recent week, I've heard complaints about people saying that the Democrats are just down there putting signs up against everything against Trump. Well, number one, they're allowed to have their say. Number two, I think they are afraid that what those rallies and demonstrations show is growing enthusiasm for the Democratic Party. And they're worried. I think it's starting to worry some people that that's just going to grow and grow, and the Republicans, are staying still.
Yeah, I had, it was a good question. It was a good thing the other day. They asked me, the MAGA Patriot group on my page, bike trails are nice, but that's not bringing industry into town. And, I thought about when was the last time we really had a boom in industry in Fayette County. And it was under Democratic leadership with Murtha and Mascara and Kucinich. And you had Advanced Acoustic Concepts, you had Boeing, Argonne ST, and all these places really start to come in and build out and branch out. And while we've had Dowling Krupa, Stefano, however you want to say it, and then, of course, the missing guy, we haven't had nearly as much.
Yeah.
Well, and you bring up an excellent point. And we said this just like when the possibility, I said it last week, the possibility of losing a mine, and it happened to be Union Mine or any mine, I would have said the same thing. He didn't pick up the phone. He didn't pick up the phone to United Mine Workers and express whatever he could do as a congressman to make sure that mine isn't closed. Of course, the coal was going to the Baltimore Harbor, and the harbor was closed at the time. But you're right. We don't hear from him. He's not going to have a town hall meeting. And the ones who are having a town hall meeting, of course, they can't take the heat. As they say, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Well, he's out of the kitchen because nobody could find him, and he's not the only one. And just like I indicated, we're local legislators. You vote no, 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 no. But now, when are you going to reach across the aisle if you want something to come back here in Fayette County? You're not going to get anything. There got to be some compromise in Harrisburg that you can help the constituents here in the county.
And on both sides.
On both sides.
Yeah, and it wasn't great, especially with the budget, of course, going over now, almost 2 months. Who knows what's going to happen, whether it be for school districts, and of course we're looking at transportation cuts.
Oh, absolutely.
I got my school bill the other week, and I was none too happy.
I believe that. And then the other day, one other thing I wanted to bring up for sure was we see the Turnpike Commissioner getting an $88,000 raise.
Right.
And then the rest of the board hitting over $350,000. And then the workers that are contracted at the rest stops for 17 places, they are getting their pay cut from $14 an hour to $11, and they're supposed to make up the rest in tips. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never tipped anybody at a rest stop before. I didn't even know that was a possibility outside of like the Starbucks workers who have the tips jars out. But I don't think anybody's tipping the janitors.
Nope. I totally agree. Matt, we got about 2 minutes. We're going to wrap this up. I'll see you Saturday. And that's our candidate, Matt Lancaster, for Treasurer of the County. TJ, we got about 3 and change?
Yeah, about 2 now.
Doc, you got a minute. Rich got a minute. Well, we're going to close it up.
We have to keep reminding people that we could be in here at 7 a.m. every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and Trump would always be coming up something and say, "Can you believe that?" And then we have to discuss the rest of the day. So we have to be prepared to deal with that. It's going to get worse before it gets light.
Every time there's like a hostage situation, the cops, government comes out and says, "Don't pay ransom. Don't pay ransom." Who's paying ransom to Trump on colleges, universities, law firms? Why are they paying ransom?
Murdoch, the biggest people in the world are caving in. They said Harvard is the premier of all universities in the world, and if they cave in, there's not another college, university in the States or elsewhere that would stand up to him.
And again,
does that make sense?
It makes sense. Absolutely. And again, it's Democratic hour. We're going to wrap this up. Doc, we'll see you tomorrow. Rich, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm going down to the demonstration. It kicks off at 5 o'clock this evening, and we'll be back. TJ, thank you for keeping the show going as usual.
Welcome.
And
go Pirates.
Go Pirates.
You guys said it.
We always have to follow up. And again, it's Democratic Hour on WMBS. We're going to take it to the streets. Thank you, TJ. Thanks to callers. Everybody have a safe weekend. It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend. We'll catch you next Friday on WMBS.
You have been listening to the Democratic Radio Hour Heard every Friday at 3:15, right here on 590 AM, 101.1 FM, WMBS.
And it's sunny and 85. Our low tonight is going to be 67 with clear skies, and we'll have more sun tomorrow with a high of 90. We'll have more on the weather coming up here in just a bit. You're listening to WMBS Uniontown, and it's 4 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.